I'm Jane. I am currently here recording this. When you're watching this, I'm in Costa Rica and I am hopefully, and then now that you're looking at this, I am hoping that I am dancing and listening to music. That's what I want to be doing right now when you watch this. Because right now, I'm a little chilly. I'm a lot chilly actually right now. Yeah, a lot of cloud cover right now here in Charlotte that they sprayed. I saw them this morning. The sky had been blue. Then they were making the lines and the X's. It looked like Argyle out there. Took a video of it. It was bonkers. But I see the sun is trying to come out behind the wall of clouds in front of it. So I'm hoping that when you watch this, I'm in the sunshine and then I'm warm. Might be hot actually, but I'm okay with that. And that there's really great music. And then I'm meeting new people, making new connections, and having brand new experiences of prosperity and joy. So thanks for watching this now. So please, leave comments on here so I can go back and check them out because it makes me really happy. Um, so what let's talk about today on Body Mind Spirit is anger. You ever experience anger? Like that seething, just pissed. And that so pissed, but you can't do anything about it, which I don't know about you, but that makes me more mad. Like it makes me mad if it's like, oh, I have to clean the house. Meh. But it's another thing when it's like, I'm so mad that the government is the way it is or whatever. Like when I can't control stuff, right? Or I can't change the outcome of it. Um, but that the feeling of anger that's also like coupled with helplessness. That's a doozy, isn't it? Like, tell me about your experiences with anger, right? Like that we get to feel so much of it and it comes in so many different ways and packages. Like, excuse me, whether we are the driving anger. That's a big one. I see it. I used to be like road rage queen, like I would chase people down in my car. Not smart. Like dumb, really. But I survived, thankfully. But I mean, I've been so angry driving that I yell stuff, I rant, I honk. I don't do this anymore. Um, like the horn honk where you're just like, you don't lay off of it. Um, you drive all erratic and then you brake check them and you put yourself and others in harm's way just because you're that mad. Man, anger is such a big emotion. And it's funny because we can make anger feel bigger if we think about it. You ever do that? You ever have something that pisses you off and then you just stew in it? How dare they cheat on me? How dare they fire me? How dare they hurt those people? Oh, it's such a big one. I tell you what, I tell you what, in our culture, we're not taught what to do with that. We're not taught how to move the mind through anger. We're taught to either ruminate, sit in it, stew in it, ponder it, think about it more, figure out why it happened, figure out what went wrong, figure out what you should do, should have done, who to blame, who's right, who's wrong. That's the only thing we've been that's we've really been supported is how to use the mind through anger. The mind doesn't move through anger. The mind tries to reason anger out. There's no reason for it. It's a feeling. We can reason out anything, right? I can give causation to anything. Well, the reason I'm angry is because. The reason I'm sad is because. But like the mind can't really wrap itself around the feeling and depth of it. You know? The way it shoots our blood pressure up, the way we might feel out of control, helpless, hopeless, all those things. So I wanted to talk about anger a little bit and the mind around it. You know, we have this thing that we do with anger in the mind, and it's that we will wrap our mind around it so tightly that it doesn't suffocate it and make it go away, but it like binds it there to stick around. You ever notice that? If you have something that you have a lot of anger around, resentment around, that it's still there. It doesn't go away. Like the only way that we can get rid of the anger is not to change what caused it, it's to change our mind about it. That's a doozy. That's a big practice. That's not a practice that everybody can do because they are so mad at whatever the situation was. And if we're that mad that we can't let our mind go and let our mind change our perspective around it, then 20 bucks says that there's an underlying feeling below that anger that's probably more like sadness, grief, compassion, something like that. But the anger is the only thing that we allow ourselves to focus on because in our society, here in the United States, anger has been rewarded in many ways. Aggression has been rewarded in many ways. We can look at this on football fields, right? We can see this in boxing matches, Krav Maga. Like we can see how anger and aggression is literally rewarded. Medals, trophies, money, accolades, places on the podium. So much so that people of power have used their power and then they allow themselves to be kind of assholes, right? They become mean to others, mean to life on earth. So then we have this belief, when we look, I'll go back to the belief. So then, when you look at like the prison system, like and not all, but like the prison guards or like the people that are like in control of the inmates. They can tell them what to do. It's like the army. It's like teachers. The prison system, the military system, and the school system, they're all very reflective of each other. How you have these people in power and they're aggressive and they control and they yell at you and they make you do things with your body. You sit there like this. You don't get up. You don't do that. I'm talking to you. I'm going to talk down to you. Yeah. And they're like spewing this anger energy at us so much that we are controlled because we're too afraid to break out of that, to leave, or we can't, right? We're in jail, we can't just leave. And so, what that does to the mind is it tells the mind that I am safe if I am in a place of power and control. That's what our culture has told us, that we are safe if we are in a place of power and control. So that's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. The truth is that you can't control anything. So that's a truth, no matter how hard you try. So there's no power in control. It's a fake. It's a fake real. It's a fake real. It's a fake reality. It's a fake system. And then we feel afraid of those in power. Fuzzy floating around. So then we feel afraid of those in power. So then we are afraid to show anger because we don't want to look like those assholes. So then we have anger and we don't know what to do with it because we've been indoctrinated with so many distorted expressions of anger. It's ridiculous. I watched a men's group recently, and they had what did they call it? I don't remember what they called it, but it was like I think they used the term sacred boxing. Sacred boxing. Hitting each other sacredly. I don't understand that. What's sacred about hitting somebody? But that's just a part of that culture, right? Of like, now I'm just gonna um, reason out why it's okay for me to hit someone. And I'm not saying that there's not like people all over the world that don't hit each other for fun, right? That's it's a sport. It's a sport. We see who can do it, who can hit each other, and who can stay standing. I don't know. It's such a weird thing to me. I really like. I don't get it. And this is coming from the girl that loves kickboxing, but I don't like to do it to like humans. I don't like the feeling of that. I like to hit the bags and stuff. It's way more satisfying for me. Um, no judgment. Just I don't understand it. But anyway, um, so we literally have no idea, the mind, our minds have no idea what to do with anger. And the funny thing about anger is that when we experience it, it rises our blood pressure up so much. It literally makes us hot headed. You can feel the energy up. It feels like your head is like getting um, pumped up like a balloon. It like gets all swollen feeling, big headed. But like legit, we can't even think clearly at that point. Then we go on like autopilot because when our body goes through that sensation, excuse me, the body thinks that we're going through a trauma. It's like if you've ever been in the military and you've had them yelling at you, soldier, that doesn't calm your nervous system. It activates it. And you're not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to fight. You're not allowed to fawn and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Colonel or Sergeant or whatever." I don't know. I'm sorry. You can't fawn. You can't just, flee. You can't peace out. All right, I'm done. I mean, maybe you can, but generally speaking, you can't fight back. But what you do is you freeze. So even in our military, they co-program you, meaning give you two programs. One is to, when you're being yelled at by a figure of authority, you are to freeze as your trauma response. As you're feeling unsafe, unloved, just take it. And then they reason it out and they tell you it's so that you can protect your country, so that you can kill people and not feel bad. Side note, I grew up around the military. I'm grateful for every single military person who's ever offered service. I'm talking about the way it perpetuates feeling anger and then literally not having an idea of what to do with it. And we've been taught that others can show anger, and like in this example of the military, then they get accoladed, they get raises, they get new rankings. So then that tells the little kiddo soldier, well, if I'm angry and mean and unkind, that's good. Now, I get it, that might work on the battlefield, but when we're out here humaning, being humans, doesn't work. Because people are gonna make you mad, right? People are gonna do things you don't like, that you don't want them to do. But if you've never experienced someone not liking something and then being able to talk through it, but you've grown up in a situation where a parent yells at you like that military type of a yelling, or you go in the military, or you have police officers that yell at you, that talk over you, then how the hell are you supposed to like wrap your mind around how the hell you're supposed to be when you experience anger? And welcome to the reality that we live in. So I share this just to draw awareness, right? They're like, oh wow, that's like a thing, right? Like that's just a thing. That's just the way we've been cultured. We've been programmed and conditioned as a whole, as a society here in the United States. Okay, well now it's in my awareness. It's like, okay, well, what do we do with that? Well, I I like to breathe through it, acknowledge that, oh my God, maybe all the ways that I would express anger in the past was really unhealthy, that it was based on images that I saw in movies or in my school or whatever, behind closed doors, what I heard, whatever. Acknowledge that whatever wherever I saw outside of myself what I am currently feeling, say anger, rage, frustration, whatever, wow, that I haven't seen it in any way. Then I could ask myself, well, how would a healthy person, how would a healed person, how would love show up? How would kindness show up? How would forgiveness and acceptance show up? How would joy show up in this? And that's how we can take our mind and start to reprogram it so that we can accept our human emotions and still make clear headed decisions, right? So we experience anger, someone cuts us off on the road, and we yell at them and we tell them that they're an idiot. And then we say, well, where else did I see that growing up? Where else was that normalized? So we have this conversation with ourselves. We just be real. Where was that normalized in my life? Oh, wow, that was normalized everywhere. Okay. And then it's like, well, what do I want? Do I like that? Does that feel good in my body? No, it doesn't. What would feel good? Well, breathing, letting it go, accepting that this person is a really bad driver. Probably on the phone. A lot of people on the phones these days when they're driving. It's 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. That's nuts, yo. Yo, if I'm talking to you and you're one of those people that like drive and like text and like look at your scroll, whatever, will you just like stop? It's totally cool. Wherever you're going is way more fun if you arrive alive. Just saying. Just put that out there. Thank you. Public service announcement. But the invitation is to like just let the mind become really aware about what we're feeling when we experience anger and not let the mind dig a rabbit hole about why we're so mad and who was wrong and what they did. And then acknowledge that whatever response we're experiencing in our physical bodies, our emotional bodies, or our mental bodies, ask ourselves where we saw that before. Where did I see that? Where was this normalized? Where was this made okay? Because a lot of times you might notice that okayness what happened when you were a kid and someone at some point showed you anger or showed anger around you and normalized it being expressed with aggression and expressed in unhealthy ways. We are made to feel anger. It is not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to store. And it's not something to project at people. Anger is not made to be a weapon. Anger can be used to devise a solution that could feel like a weapon. I get that. But like generally speaking, if we're out here on this like road to recovery, recovering our life, our inner child, our love, our everything, then being able to navigate anger with a clear head and acknowledge like, damn, yo, I really feel anger whenever I hear pots and pans clinking. Where did that come from? Oh, that was when I was a little kid. Did I see anyone else get angry? No. What did I do with that anger when I was a kid? Well, I got mad at myself and I stormed off and I punished myself by going in my room and being alone. So I reclused when I felt anger before. Okay. Like have these conversations, like whatever that story is. Like talk to yourself and just kind of go there and do it in a safe way. Do it with kindness and compassion. This is body, mind, spirit. If we can do all of this work with kindness and compassion, we show up as the goodness of our highest potential, right? The goodness of our highest potential, that's your spirit, that's your soul essence. That's the light. I love anger. I love when I catch myself feeling it. I love how I feel it in my body. I hate how it feels in my body. I hate what it does to my head. It gives me a headache. So for me, the faster I can acknowledge it and navigate my thoughts around it, then the quicker I can deactivate my nervous system and calm my ass down. or cry it through or move it through, take a walk, go for a run, do some yoga, do some breath work, whatever. It's just a tool, a coping tool. Somatic releases, shaking the body, moving through the fascia, doing stuff like that. But the mind will take the carrot, anger, and just it's like the forever carrot, just eating it forever. It's not okay. Don't recommend it. Unless you really like carrots, but I don't really recommend it. Um, so yeah, for the body and the mind and the spirit, like something that I wanted to share for the body for just support. So if you know yourself, right? Like if you know you have like underlying anger and maybe no one knows, right? Maybe you're seething. Maybe you're watching this and you're like, I hate her. She gets on my nerves. You can't turn away because you just like to punish yourself in hatred, right? Like we do this. Like all these things I've done. That's how I can speak to this shit. At some point in my life journey, I have experienced and been all of these things. So I can speak to it. So anyway, ask yourself, are you harboring anger? Is it deep in there? Do you resent the way your kids treat you or the way your parents treat you? Do you really just get like fired up at the way your neighbor treats their dog? You know, does it just, you know, burn your britches? The price of gasoline these days, right? If only you know where you have these just like, right? I can't handle it. I'm that mad. And I smile because it's funny because we're funny people around this anger stuff. So an invitation is to let your mind go in there and be like, oh, I do. I do. I feel a lot of anger on the road. Where'd that come from? Is that what I saw growing up? Was I triggered because maybe the people that I rode with were so calm and they drove so slow and everybody else around them were the angry ones and honking and speeding around them. So now I'm the speeder and now I'm mad at just ask yourself these things, right? Come into the awareness. And then that changes our spirit totally. That changes our energy. It changes the feelings in our body. But we can also do some stuff to support the physical body. If you have anger, I don't want to say issues because we all have issues with every emotion because we haven't been taught how to feel them. Um, Plug in the computer in there. Okay. Um, but you can do some things that can just bring more peace to your body. And these are some really simple things. Okay, y'all ready for this? Lavender. Lavender. The flower, the plant. You can make lavender tea. You can get lavender essential oil and you can smell it. You can wear it on your body. If you buy the oil, dilute it into carrier oil if it doesn't have that already so it doesn't irritate your skin. You can buy lavender flowers and you can add some to your tea. Um, you can put some in your bath. You can make a little um, like fabric pack, like a sachet, a little pouch of of lavender, and you can smell it. You can sleep with it next to your bed. Um, Whenever you feel a lot of that, like, you can literally just smell the lavender, and it can bring you some feelings of peace and clarity. So good, so good, so good. Lavender is such a beautiful plant medicine. Highly recommend it. You can grow it yourself. You can grow lavender plants. You can go out there and then like if you grow lavender, you can like literally just like rub your hands on the leaves and stuff and smell your hands and it smells delicious. I do that with rosemary all the time. Chamomile is also really good. It'll chill you out. Chamomile will. That was not easy to get out. Um, but that can chill you out. So like if you're just like blood pressure's getting up and you've been feeling the anger today, make yourself some chamomile tea. Drink it. You know? If you are feeling a lot of anger, I would recommend staying away from alcohol. I would recommend staying away from marijuana until you get those things cleared and navigated because there's not a healthy relationship with you, so any relationship you have with a substance outside of yourself can actually amplify it, right? It keeps it from healing fully and moving through. You can go for a walk. When you're angry, if you can go step outside and just take some deep breaths, go for a walk. Get your feet on the earth. Remember that it's okay to feel anger, and that you're strong enough to let it move through you, because you don't want to hold it and you don't want to hurt anyone else, because you've experienced enough hurt in anger, right? Whether someone was so mad at you that they left you, and maybe you were neglected or abused because of anger, that someone didn't know how to handle it. So now you don't. Well, now you get to step into that. You get to step into the human that knows how to handle anger, which means you don't know. I don't know. But we just try these things, there's not one thing that works for everyone. There's not one thing that works all the time. When I turn angry, when I feel anger, a lot of times I go sit in front of my altar and I talk to the source of all that is, or my higher self or the earth or whatever. I'm like, damn, I'm pissed. I'm pissed that this is happening out there. And maybe it's just acknowledging that, yeah, I'm feeling mad. I'm experiencing a lot of anger right now. I'm having a hard time managing my anger right now. And just communicating it calmly to someone that doesn't try to fix you. And if someone does communicate to you that they're having a challenge navigating their anger, ask them, how can I support? Don't just be like, well, you should do this and you should do that. That just sucks. Ain't nobody like that. For real. I don't like it. So yeah, anger. We literally have been conditioned to have no clue how to feel it or experience it or witness it healthy. So that means to me that we get to get creative. We get to play with this. We get to try new ways of feeling anger, of expressing anger, of transmuting it and alchemizing it and let it move through our bodies. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? F it. Let's do it. Let's do it, shall we? Acknowledge. Like, ask yourself, where do you feel anger still? Are you willing to let it go? Right? Are you willing to be different and feel different? Are you willing to feel better? It's always a choice. So, know that you're loved no matter how much anger you feel or experience, and that it's safe to let it go, and that you can try new ways of being in love. So, take care of your bodies, take care of your mind, take care of your energy, take care of your emotional body, take care of you in all ways, always, okay? Try the lavender. Tell me what you think. I really like it. It's always good for me. Make yourself a cup of tea. If you have a lot of anger, don't go for the caffeine. Right? It's a stimulator. It's a stimulant. It doesn't help calm us down. You know, Maybe like read a book that lights you up. Put something snuggly on and feel it. Like soothe yourself. You know, don't ignore it anymore, please. Thanks. That's what I wanted to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed that. Leave comments, concerns, questions. I love that I can like be myself with y'all. And you may judge me, but I just assume that you don't. So thanks for not judging me. Thanks for letting me share about all my feelings around anger. Great. Anyway, I love you all so much. I look forward to seeing you all back in real life when I get back mid-March. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to go. I'm excited and happy that I'm here right now and sharing these messages. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the Promise Resource Network community. So I'll see you soon.